Hi, I want to welcome you to this year's Local Elections Candidate Forum here at Heights Baptist Church. I want to thank you for taking the time to make sure you are as educated as you can be for this year's upcoming local elections. Do make sure that you get out and make sure that your voice is heard. So thank you so much for joining us on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Northern Brazoria County Chamber of Commerce, where we serve businesses in Alvin, Manville, and Iowa Colony. What we do as an organization is we try to think what is the best way to keep local dollars here to make these communities as prosperous for everyone who lives here as possible. So you being engaged in local elections is a direct result of that kind of work that our chamber and our members have done for decades. My name is Kerry Perrin. I'm the president and CEO of the Northern Brazoria County Chamber. And again, we want to thank you for tuning in to this video. I want to thank Heights Baptist Church for providing this space, for providing this camera equipment and this audio equipment so that you can, again, be the most educated voter you can be. I want to also thank the candidates that are able to make the time to do this with us today. And there's going to be a few that aren't on stage with us, but have taken the time out of their schedule to come sit down with us individually so that we can hear what they have to say as well. All of our candidates has made it clear to me to pass on to you that if you have any questions that we didn't ask here tonight or want better clarity of questions answered for you, all of our candidates can be found on social media platforms, would love to talk to you directly. So please do yourself a favor and make sure you talk to them directly before you go to the polls. I also want to thank my staff, volunteers, Heights Baptist Church's staff. Remember, if you're looking for a local church in town, go to heightschurch.org and see other ways that they support our local community and our community members. I also want to thank my Governmental Relations Committee. All these folks, tons of folks in this area, have worked together and done lots of things just to make this information available to you. So thank you again for taking the time to watch. Speaking of our Governmental Relations Committee, it is chaired by Carolynn Waites. She is the director of the Alvin Public Library. She is going to be our moderator tonight. And so I want to thank her as well for taking the time to ask all these great questions to all these great candidates. Thank you again, and remember to eat, shop, play, and support local businesses in your area.
Okay, we're going to start with your opening remarks. Talisa, I'm going to let you go first. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. My name is Talisa Keel, and I am a native just south of here in Galveston County. I am a product of public education out of Lamarck, Texas. And I wear many hats, like many of you folks, I'm sure you do as well. I am a wife. I am the mother of 2 amazing children here in the Alvin Independent School District, one in the 1st grade and the other in the 4th grade. After high school, I decided to join the military. I served 8 years in the United States Army, including a combat tours for Iraq from 2009 to 2010. I have a degree in criminal justice from Lamar University, a graduate degree in sociology, and for the past 10 years, I have worked in nonprofit leadership. Currently, I work for a national nonprofit where I am able to help under-resourced communities in over 46 cities across the country. In addition to that, I'm a consultant where I've worked with behavioral health organizations such as SAMHSA and an organization called All Rise. I decided to run for school board trustee position 5 because I believe in community. I believe that as an active and engaged parent right now with children that are currently in the school district, that I can not only bring a current experience to the board, but I can also bring a strategic background. I have worked in organizations even outside of the military, managing millions of dollars in a budget, in addition to having the ability to make decisions in stressful situations. Furthermore, with a behavioral health background, I think at any time is the best that we focus on the well-being of both our children, our educators, and our parents. Thank you.
Brian?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Brian Keith Roberson II. I am a veteran educator, and I've said this so many times. I've worked from everything within the school, from bus drivers as a substitute paraprofessional, a principal, associate principal, assistant principal, as well as a special ed teacher. So I worked at just about every role that you will see on a campus. At one point, I worked as a student, but I wasn't as good as a student as I am as an educator. I'm currently serving as an educational consultant where I coach school leaders in their leadership teams to improve the outcomes from their scholars. I'm from Houston originally, grew up on the northwest side of town, but got down to Manville and Rocheron as soon as I could. I want to advocate for safe schools, equitable schools, and really schools that are led with common sense practices. We see so much on the news and in the newspapers today that stray us in both directions. We need to get back to the center, and what is always at the center is our students. I have board experience serving as the Regional 4 coordinator for the Texas Association of Secondary School Principals, where our new Alvin High School principal was formerly on that Region 4 board. I've served as a parliamentarian, as a historian, and a secretary for other statewide programs, statewide associations. I am a parent of 4. 2 of them are school age at Mary Merrick in the dual language program, and I want to continue to see the dual language programs in the district thrive. I want to see our students thrive, and I want to see our district really embrace the bright future that is ahead. Thank you.
First, I would like to begin by thanking the Chamber for hosting this opportunity, for giving candidates an opportunity to share a little bit about themselves, and for voters to learn a little bit more about us. My name is Regan Peterson. I currently serve as board president for Alvin Independent School District. I am serving on position 4. I am seeking re-election. A little bit about myself. I was not born in this area, but I was raised here. I have lived here for over 40 years in the Alvin Independent School District community. My husband, Rodney, and I have raised 4 kids here. I'm a product of Alvin High School. I won't go and say what year, but a product of Alvin High School. I'm very proud of that. I'm also a product of Alvin Community College, the University of Houston at Clear Lake, and Texas A&M University. Education, specifically public education, is my vocation and my avocation. I've worked in higher education for over 20 years. Currently, I serve as an assistant director at Mays Business School at Texas A&M University in our graduate programs office. I office out of our Houston City Center location. So priorities moving forward, first and foremost is student success. Students are at the forefront of every decision that we make in Alvin ISD. Also teacher retention and creating positive work environments for our teachers. And lastly, school safety.
Hi there, I'm Cheryl Harris, candidate for the Alvin ISD School Board, position 5. Good morning, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to chat and provide more information about myself and my views. I would like to preface my responses by stating that I have served consecutively as a trustee for Alvin ISD for 12 years, and so my thoughts are direct reflection of the experiences, years served, and the work done for Alvin ISD. It was a privilege to serve the students, staff, and constituents of this great 252 square mile district that encompasses Alvin, Liverpool, Hillcrest, Manville, Rocheron, Iowa Colony, and the West Pearland area for 12 years as a trustee, and also to be elected by my peers as board secretary and board president. As a trustee, I've seen the student population grow from 19,000 students now over 30,000 students, and I proudly supported 3 bond referendums that brought 2 new high schools, a CTE center, many elementaries and junior highs that ensure permanent seats for our students. Along with board service, I have hands-on experience as a school district employee for 10 years in the 1990s. I was the secretary to the director of special education. This operational experience benefited me in understanding complex school funding for local and federal funds, the district's budget process, local and federal policies, and I got to gain experience working with people with disabilities.
All right. The first question is, as Alvin ISD remains one of the fastest growing districts in Texas, how would you ensure the district maintains quality education while efficiently managing resources and facilities. And we are going to start with you, Brian.
As a former high school principal, I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets, balanced them, and did pretty well with that over the years. I know that maintaining a quality education in a fast-growing district like Alvin ISD requires a strategic vision and a student-centered focus. Now, for us to do that, we have to prioritize what's taking place in the classrooms, the instruction that we're providing for our students, as well as the training and development that we're providing for our teachers. We can't expect them to do a job if we aren't ensuring that they are well equipped and they have the resources to do that for our students. I believe that a proactive approach to the facility planning, having the community approach and engaging with the various city leaders across our district, whether it's Manville, Iowa Colony, the representation in Rose Sharon, as well as Shadow Creek, we need to leverage those relationships and have those conversations so that we can plan for the growth in this district.
Talisa, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, ma'am. Thank you. As we know, our school district is one of the fastest growing school districts in the area. I believe I read some information most recently that we rank 9th in the Houston area in growth, which says a lot. And that doesn't go into account with the continuous growth that we know we have coming out in the future. One of my biggest platforms that you'll see on my website is not only community and collaboration. I think that we have the infrastructure here. When we are able to collaborate all of our cities amongst the Alvin Independent School District together, we can really expand upon those resources. If there's one thing that I've learned working in nonprofits is how to make a dollar stretch. And so, you know, with that being said, this time goes by so fast, I would really encourage us to look at what we have set in place and the resources that we can expand upon.
All right.
As growth continues on Highway 288 and the Grand Parkway expansion, as well as Alvin and Manville gaining new subdivisions, it's very important that the board continues to monitor enrollment increases and subdivision development through utilizing the demographer's reports. To continue to provide high quality instruction that Alvin ISD is known for starts with personal dedication of trustees and district leadership to serve every student every day. I truly believe that all staff are important because they have a daily impact on a student. From the bus driver to the custodians, from the paraprofessionals and teachers, each of these valuable staff build a relationship with the students, and with a relationship formed, they then know how to best academically and emotionally help a student excel. Alvin ISD is the best at forming relationships. From providing equitable engagement facilities across the district to maintaining current structures and hiring the best staff for students, these are the keys to fast growth districts.
Yeah, so Alvin ISD is one of the fastest growing districts in the state of Texas, specifically Houston. Has a booming housing market right now, just second to Dallas. Tuesday night at our board meeting, we actually had our local demographer, Zonda Demographics, come and share where the newest and most fast growth is happening in our district. So we look at that quarterly, we look at that yearly, we look at that for strategic long-term planning so that we can make sure that we're allocating resources to keep up with the growth in our district by providing quality educational experiences by way of state-of-the-art facilities, new schools in the areas where they are becoming overcrowded, and also college and career centers throughout the district.
Thank you. Our next question is, property tax appraisals have significantly increased in our area. Although appraisals are state mandated, what specific steps would you support to demonstrate fiscal transparency and efficiency to rebuild public trust in this area? Talisa?
We have to rebuild that trust by making a lot of our financial information public friendly. A lot of this information is out there in pieces, but some of the recommendations that I've had that can just include some innovative ways is, one, we've got to meet people where they are. I really loved the presentation that recently went out on the Alvin Independent School District page with our current board president, whereas she was really able to not only just side by side show some of the PowerPoints and the growth that was very feasible for me. I would love an opportunity where that type of innovation continues in all of the aspects and business matters that we're handling in the school district. I don't think that anything is secretive. I think that these running dashboards could be extremely beneficial for the community. And if we continue to innovate, whether that's on social media, websites, through text messagings, whereas we can meet people where they are, then they'll feel a little bit more confident in our decisions.
Thank you. Brian?
As we talked about property taxes, as you mentioned, it is state mandated, what we see with the appraisals. And I think we could do a better job at educating our community, our stakeholders, at who's responsible for what. Some of the things the legislator is responsible for. Setting the tax rate within the district, I think the school board has something to do with that, with the M&O tax rate as well as the INS, and we can get into that a little bit later. For us to move forward, we have to ensure that we have clear, consistent, concise at times, communication. We have to have budget-friendly information that is going out to the electorate. We need to be able to provide that, to have workshops across the entirety of the district, because it's not just one individual space within the district that's paying taxes. We're all paying taxes. And so we need to hear from the electorate across the district, inform them of where that money is going, how it's being spent, and how much we're collecting, what's the vision for those funds.
I support transparency of all aspects of working with the school district for trustee review and for our citizens. Fiscally, Alvin ISD conducts an annual external audit in which the district continually receives exceptional ratings. This audit includes a review of financial transactions made by the district for both local and federal funds, and the auditors ensure that the district is in compliance. Regarding transparency efficiency reviews of departments, as a former trustee and as a former employee, I know it is the expectation of each department to review its expenditures line by line each year to look for savings. To further build on public trust, I encourage the citizens to attend board meetings or watch them live on YouTube to see the fiscal responsible approach that the board and district leadership take.
Well, thank you for acknowledging that property valuations are determined by the state. That is something that as a property owner here, I feel. So I'm definitely sensitive to the needs of taxpayers. I am proud to say that during the 2018-2019 school year, while I was serving as a trustee, we actually lowered the tax rate in Alvin ISD by 28 cents. Also that same year, after passing a bond, our projects were finished on time and under budget. We had over $15 million in savings. While the board could have spent that money, we actually put it on a future bond referendum to allow for our community to decide how they wanted that money spent.
Thank you. Alvin ISD is the largest employer in Alvin, Manville, and Iowa Colony and has a strong reputation for employee satisfaction. How would you sustain or improve the district's position as an employer of choice for educators and support staff? We'll let you start, Brian.
This is personal for me. Being a former principal, to retain your staff, you have to respect them, respect the job that they're doing, respect the fact that they're giving their all, they're showing up at their best each and every day. And that respect looks different depending on what those educators need. Some of it is respecting their mental health. Our teachers have gone through a lot over the last few years, and we want to make sure that we are ensuring that they're at their best to do the work that we need for our kids. We want to make sure that we compensate them. I've spoken with several individuals that started in Alvin, graduated from Alvin, came back, but then left because there were other area districts that were paying a bit of a fair wage. We want to grow. We want to raise families. We want to make sure that we're supporting each other. But also, I think what's important, we want to provide leadership and professional development for our teachers so that they can grow where they are. And whether you're a teacher, assistant principal, you have an opportunity in this district to lead the schools or a district level position.
All right, thank you. Talisa?
Yes, this is an amazing question. You know, I've been so blessed to have such wonderful educators. Just currently, before we stepped in here, I was showing Brian some photos that my daughter's teacher sent me from their field trip today through the class app Dojo. And so, and I could be biased, but I know that she feels respected at Bell Sanchez. And so I think when we talk about teacher retention, we have to include respect. We have to address some of the uncomfortable spaces in education. Some of our teachers are burnt out. And so very similar along the lines of Brian, I believe that teacher retention, yes, competitive pay is important, but as a leader, we have to also identify those spaces where we can coach our teachers up, but also find the places where we're keeping the human-centered approach to our employees and our staff members by simply respecting them and showing them appreciation.
Right. Alvin ISD continues to retain high-quality educators and staff. However, teachers are leaving the profession for other opportunities. This is an issue for all school districts. My service on the board continually saw approval of COLAs each year. Board members ensured that the district had the highest starting salaries within Region 4, as well as self-funded insurance, not TRS. And the board also annually improved an incentive bonus. While on the board in 2024, we also implemented the Texas Teacher Allotment. It's a unique approach to providing additional incentives to retain teachers. Aside from compensation, I think continual communication with all staff is key to ensure that they know they are a valued team member and that the district genuinely cares for them. Burnout is a real issue and mental health must not be ignored. I believe that staff, if they know they're valued and cared for, they will be a productive team member, and that is what's best for the students. It is evident that Alvin ISD is a great district to work in, as they are continually recognized by Forbes as one of the top employers. I suggest that Alvin ISD continues on the path of compensation and recognition for all staff and ensures that real conversations are continuously occurring with staff to ensure their needs are met. These pieces will help retain faculty.
Well, thank you for recognizing that. We were actually nationally ranked by Forbes in 2024 as among educational institutions. Alvin ISD ranked #2 among all educational employers in the state of Texas. That was done by an outside entity. Employees had surveys that were provided to them. So we're very proud of that. Some of the ways that we continue to listen to our educators, listen to our staff, hear what they want, is by allowing them to participate in our committees where we set the calendar. Teachers and paras shared with us that they wanted 1 day a month to be able to have for planning and preparation without students on campus. So we implemented that this year. Also, by way of teacher retention bonuses, we love our teachers. We want them to stay here and have longevity here. And so we do offer retention bonuses for teachers. We offer half of it in December, the other half in June, if they recommit to signing another contract to continue teaching with us.
Thank you. All right. With school safety becoming an increasing concern, how would you build upon Alvin ISD's current safety programs and police department to further protect students, faculty, and staff? Talisa?
Whew. I'm gonna try to keep this under 1 minute. This is a sensitive topic for me. I remember the first year my son came home. His first grade year was his first year in person. Kindergarten was a COVID year, so we did it virtually. And he came home and he said, "Mommy, we had a safety drill." And I said, "Okay, tell me about it." Growing up, I did fire drills and earthquake drills, but he did a drill if a stranger was on campus that would put them in danger. And so to speak, an active shooter. But when we talk about school safety, I think that it's important to not only talk about school safety in that aspect, but also psychological safety. I am a mental health first aid instructor, and I've worked with so many school districts from Katy ISD, Galveston County, Lamarck, and Hitchcock. And oftentimes, folks just don't know how to address someone with a mental or behavioral health issue. And so I would really encourage our school systems to include mental, behavioral health, and psychological safety and instructional training for both our educators and our parents.
Brian?
We want to make sure that our educators and our law enforcement are well equipped and trained to handle the challenges of today. On the campus level, we want to ensure that we're educating our students on how to respond, how to cope through some things, but also how to report the things that they see. Being a high school principal, I've dealt with everything from the most recent trend of vapes, fights, finding weapons on campus, social, emotional, psychological issues, bullying. And the biggest piece is, how did you respond? How did you respond as an educator? How did the school respond? And talking with parents, they've had children who have had different safety concerns. And the issue, or the question we always ask, what did the principal do? What did the teacher do? Did you report it? And so I think the responsiveness and the education is where we really need to focus. We're doing a great job across the district at keeping kids safe, but the next piece is ensuring that we're educating folks on what to do when they see certain things and how to respond to that adversity.
And staff.
All right, in the 1990s, I was employed by Alvin ISD and saw the changes from having security officers to licensed police officers. I fully support this direction and admire the trustees who voted to approve the change. The number of officers have increased throughout the years. In 2018, most campuses had full-time police staff, with elementary campuses sharing police with nearby campuses. To build on this and to meet current needs, trustees requested that the district increase the numbers of police to ensure every campus had its own police officer. At the same time, additional police have been added to the force by allowing contract officers to support our students and staff. I fully support the continuation of hiring talented officers with a diverse service background, from the FBI to the DEA to sheriff's officers. This experience will help ensure the safety of students and staff.
Well, definitely ensuring the safety of our students and staff has been one of the areas that I'm most proud of from my last 12 years of service on the school board. Before state mandates were even established, I played a pivotal role in developing and supporting one of the most comprehensive campus police and safety programs in any school district. To my knowledge, Alvin ISD has one of the best police to student ratios in the state. I believe that our efforts have set a benchmark, inspiring many other districts to follow suit. And currently we have close to $6 million in our budget to promote safety and security, not just for our students, but for our staff as well.
All right, thank you. Brian, you're going to be up first on this question. The district has actively opposed education savings accounts, or ESAs, arguing they divert funds from public education. Could you clearly explain your position on ESAs and how you'd advocate for Alvin ISD students?
I don't like them. I think that was clear. I really believe that they are a kickback for the wealthy. They are a kickback for many donors. And when it is explained, it's also disingenuous when we hear our politicians tying educational savings accounts to school choice. Folks, we've had school choice for over 40 years. We have private schools, we have Montessori schools, we have charter schools. Parents can make that choice. We have homeschool right now. We've always had parent school choice. The issue is diverting funds from that nice purse that we have at the state level to fund tuition for private schools when we're not adequately funding the schools right now, where over 5.3 million students are going. That's an issue for me. And so going back to the legislator versus the school board will adopt a budget. In many places, there are deficit budgets right now because the legislators have not released enough funds to schools so that they can adequately increase the pay for our teachers and fund our classrooms.
Thank you. Talisa?
I'm going to keep it very short. I oppose ESAs because they do divert funds from public schools, and I believe that public dollars must stay in public classrooms. So I will advocate for strong state investment into our students and to our public school systems.
Alvin ISD students.
Yeah. In Texas, parents have school choice that provides families with more educational options, which can be beneficial for students who do not thrive in public schools. However, it will create challenges such as decreased funding for districts if students transfer out, potentially impacting resources. Alvin ISD has been fiscally conservative with their taxpayer dollars, but if the legislation passes, indeed there will be students who choose to receive the education at a private school with tuition partially paid with dollars that would go to the district. Alvin ISD has unique characteristics that sets it apart from other school districts, with a strong emphasis on academic and community involvement and a focus on character education. and a diverse a range of extracurricular activities. In my opinion, school choice could bring benefits in terms of innovation and pushing all school settings to improve. I am a supporter of public education and believe that taxpayer dollars should not be allocated to private or charter schools. I believe that both public education, private schools, and charter schools should be held to the same standards, with an example of certified teachers and student testing. As community member, I continually advocate for Alvin ISD students and public education students in Texas by keeping in contact with my state representative to give him feedback.
Absolutely. So this has been an extremely controversial and unfortunately divisive topic. I do share concerns about how this issue is unfolded at the state level. Our state legislator has declined to pass vouchers or educational savings account ESAs during multiple prior legislative sessions. So the concern that funds could be diverted from our public schools is really not hypothetical. It's exactly what happened. Funds were appropriated in the state's budget, but were withheld over this very issue, which I believe is absolutely wrong. Our teachers deserve to be compensated fairly. And when the state has a revenue surplus and allocates dollars for public education, but then having those funds withheld due to this issue is deeply concerning to me.
Okay, with growing concerns about politically driven agendas in education, how would you address misinformation and clearly communicate the district's curriculum and policy decisions to parents and the community? Talisa?
We have to clearly communicate curriculum decisions and policies. So, again, being innovative, I'll push for accessible updates, multilingual outreach, and I will push for regular forums to hear from families directly. We've got to find a way to meet people where they are. And not to go on a small tangent, but we have a lot of different apps for a lot of different campuses that can cause confusion, and the messaging is not aligned. We have students at different schools that are getting ready to go in their junior years or senior years, and the information on what's next is not also always clearly aligned. And so again, I think that we've got to be on the same page from our schools to our entire district and identify the best way for us to meet people where they are. As a school board candidate trustee being in this seat, I would personally make myself accessible monthly so that I can meet with the people and understand what their needs are and do my best to break down those policies for them.
Thank you. Brian?
I believe the best way to handle mis and disinformation is to handle it straight out and straight on. We need to be able to get in front of folks with a clear message, with evidence. I've spent a few dollars working on a few degrees, and the doctoral program is the most recent one, that if I turn in any assignment without citing my source, we don't get the grade. Our high school students, our middle school students, if they turn in any ELA assignment without citing their source, they don't get the grade. Much happens in math as well. Show your work. So we have a lot of politicians that are saying, trust me, believe me, we need to do a better job and an effective job at getting in front of our voters, getting in front of our stakeholders, letting them know what the district is doing. We have over 40% of our population that are Hispanic. Talisa just shared, we need to focus on multilingual communication. If we want parents to get involved, we have to meet them where they are and ensure that we are able to communicate effectively with them.
Yeah, so unfortunately, public education has become a battleground for political and societal debates. And while we're not immune to it here in Alvin ISD, I'm proud to have been part of a team that worked really hard to shield our students and families from divisive issues. I do remain committed to providing top quality instruction and an educational experience that every family in our district can be proud of. My focus will continue to be on student success, academics, obviously, first and foremost, but also fine arts, also athletics, extracurriculars, and other programs that really prepare our students for life beyond high school.
Right. The most important thing a trustee can do is to encourage families to engage and contact their campus teachers and staff so they can receive information on the important decisions made for the curriculum and policies. Alvin ISD ensures that curriculum taught aligns with TEKS and is age appropriate. Alvin ISD also provides a student handbook annually that provides information and valuable resources for parents. As feedback mechanism for the parents and community, besides conversations with their children's teachers and campus leadership, parents should submit concerns or questions to the online platform called Let's Chat, which connects the submitter to the appropriate district staff who can provide feedback and information.
Voters recently approved a bond to update facilities, replace aging schools, and address growth. How would you ensure accountability and transparency in how bond funds are managed and projects are completed? And Brian, you're going to go first.
This will actually be a short one. This is where you use the data, you use the technology that is available for us. I was previously in the district that went through a recent bond, and they had a live dashboard that you could log in on any day. You could monitor the scope and work of that bond, particularly to which school. You click on the tab, it would say, this is the scope of the project, this is the percentage that they have done, this is what they are currently working on, and this is the dollar amount that has been spent. We know that many schools passed bonds recently, and the inflation has affected just about everything. The cost to build Freedom Field right now for some districts are 3 to 4 times the amount that Alvin ISD paid a few years ago. And so I would use a live dashboard that any stakeholder could log in, see the scope of the work, monitor the progress, and see how much funds we've used to see if we're on budget or over.
All right, Talisa?
Yes, so same. I think that the bond dollars should be tracked publicly and used responsibly. I think that there's an opportunity as well to bring in third-party auditors if we needed to, or to have a citizen oversight committee, or even provide a platform where progress reports are shared out regularly in an innovative way, such as we've seen recently post current board meetings, where we're able to get a really great visual of where we are in our progress.
Accountability and transparency of the use of bond funds and the project completion is something the district does very well. As a trustee, we have shared the community's request for updates on bond projects, which has resulted in additional pages added to the Alvin ISD website that is continually updated. This page contains past and current bonds, campuses built, land acquired, as well as renovation to existing facilities. This information tells the citizens the progress of all projects and completion information. Alvin ISD is known for completing bond facilities on time and either on or under budget. The district also provides bond information in community newspapers. The level of accountability demonstrates the commitment to the citizens to keep them up to date on the projects while providing transparency of the dollars spent. These actions build community trust.
Very important question, one that I believe can best be answered by the work that I have done as a trustee over the last 12 years. I am consistently proud of the fact that we stay under budget for every bond that I've been involved in, which has been 3 over my 12 years of service. As a fast growth district, bonds are our primary tool that the state provides for us to build new schools in our communities. I'm proud to have played a role in ensuring that we provide these schools when and where they're needed based on enrollment. Earlier, I did share how proud of the district I am about the transparency when we returned $15 million back to the community from a bond. It wasn't required. It's not common, but it clearly reflects my commitment to oversight and transparency during my time as a trustee.
Okay, well, guess what? There is one more question before you get to your closing remarks. Serving students from Alvin, Manville, Iowa Colony, and Shadow Creek in Pearland, how would you balance the unique needs of each community while fostering district-wide unity and cooperation? Talisa.
You guys are probably going to get tired of hearing me say this, but I really believe that we have to meet people where they are. I also believe that our leadership sets the culture. It sets the standard. When you walk onto a school campus and you see smiling faces everywhere, it makes you feel good. I think that if we are able to start with the one and it trickles down to all of our leaders, each and every one of us is a leader, first of all of our teachers are leaders, but they're going to replicate that, and it's going to become a more inclusive, warming environment where we can accept our differences while still being able to achieve what it is that we want our students to have, which is top public education. And so I think that unity comes from intentional inclusion.
Brian?
To truly serve Alvin ISD, we must first listen to the people in Alvin ISD. And this is where I use the phrase representation matter. This is a large district. There's many different communities, and unlike when I worked in Houston ISD and most of the schools fell under that one city, we have different stakeholders paying different tax rate with different representation across the district, but the district must remain that true center source. And so it's big for me. Representation does matter. We want the diversity of this rich district to be representative on that board so that we have the input, we have the experiences of each and every member. And I use each and every often instead of all, because all is easy to lump folks together. But if I say each and every, I'm gonna make sure that each and every community has their representation, has their voice heard, has a fair shot at getting their point across and being well represented from that boardroom.
Yeah, so the diverse communities within Alvin ISD contribute immensely to the strength of our district. It's actually exciting. When I started on the board, we only had 2 high schools, Alvin and Manville, and I was honored and privileged to be able to be a part of the team that helped successfully pass the bond to build Shadow Creek High School and then just recently Iowa Colony High School. As a trustee who served for the last 12 years, I'm proud of the efforts to serve each one of the communities that we work with. It does require continuous effort to build active partnerships to make sure that we provide opportunities to hear from and incorporate ideas from all areas of the district. We actively do this by having community involvement on the committees, that when we go out to seek bonds, we do include representatives from each community so that we can make sure that their voices are heard and that they can be proud of the schools that are being built in their communities and our community as a whole within Alvin Independent School District.
Okay, now it's time for closing remarks. You each will have 2 minutes, and Brian, you're going to go first.
Like I said, I'm in a unique position of being that of a parent with school-age kids that started school during the pandemic. I became a principal during the pandemic. I know the challenges that are going on campuses right now. I left the principal seat just last year to become a consultant, but I led 2 different schools during various stages of that pandemic. I know the frustration that teachers have. I know the mandates that are unfunded that they have to carry out, even though they don't understand. And for me, it's important to have an educator, and I believe I would be the only educator or former educator with K through 12 experience sitting on Alvin ISD's board after this election. And so that representation matters, that experience matters. We know that every election matters, but most important, you matter, and your voice matters. And so when we think about the proud past that we have in Alvin ISD, or the city of Alvin, and the pride, the traditions that are rich, we also have to embrace the bright future that is ahead of us. And to do that, we want to make sure that we have the representation across this district, the voices across this district, the partnerships that are being established between the district and the various municipalities, whether it's Manville, whether it's Iowa Colony. If we can get a city council in Roche-Sharon at some point, we'll do that as well. Pearland, we want to make sure that we can bring everyone to the table so that we can do what is best for all of our students and all of our educators. And so being that I've been in every role, I understand the needs and the resources that our students and educators are in need of right now.
Thank you. Talisa?
Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. You know, I came into this position for candidacy for Board of Trustees position 5 with a million reasons on why I wanted to do it. And when it all boiled down to it, I had to think about community, collaboration, safety, but also my family, my children, my experiences. I think that my perspective can be a little bit different. I oftentimes live in my own utopia, and it's not that I ignore all of the other things that are going on in our world. It's just that I've seen a lot of our world. I've lived in third world country before, and I've seen children that did not have the privilege of being in 4 walls with electricity and running water and all of the amazing things that we have here in America. I know what it's like. So sometimes it's not that I don't think about some of the concerns of our community. It's just that I've also seen bigger ones. And so I know how great we have it. I know how great our school district is. I just believe that there's always room for growth. If I'm not growing, what am I doing? I think that with my experience and my strategic mindset and the fact that I am not only a local leader in this community, I believe that I can bring in an innovative mindset as a parent perspective, as a community perspective, and also the innovative side. Whereas we have amazing organization like Gathering Outreach, who I just had the opportunity to meet Natasha, the founder of, working with an amazing after-school program for under-resourced children. We need more Gathering Outreach organizations embedded in our community because we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Not the state, not the federal, not 7 school board members. We have to learn how to do this together, and I believe that I can bring that to the table. Thank you.
As a former trustee and as a candidate now, I have and always will represent every student every day. I firmly believe that each trustee and district leadership must abide by this motto. Every school is different and it reflects their local neighborhoods and communities, and it is important to embrace the differences. Alvin ISD does this very well by providing opportunities at each campus to have school-sponsored clubs and events that further enrich a student's campus experience, all while being a part of the Alvin ISD community.
All right, in closing, thank you so much for watching this video, for actively participating in our local elections. Again, my name is Regan Peterson. I am seeking re-election and would be honored and privileged to continue to serve here in Alvin ISD Position 4. The past 12 years of service on the board have been truly just rewarding. I am a huge proponent for strong public schools. I'll continue to advocate for each of our communities throughout our district. We've got a thriving district. People are moving here. We're the fastest growing district within our area, and that's something that we're really proud of. I'll continue to put students at the forefront of every decision that I make. I'll continue to work to make sure that we remain one of the top employers in the state of Texas. I will be relentless in my pursuit of having safe schools where our students and our staff can show up each day and feel safe and can learn and can thrive. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 3rd. Thank you.
Friends, it is important to vote for a candidate that has a background in education service and as a prior trustee. With the looming voucher legislation and the Department of Education being moved to the states, school districts need experienced board members that are pragmatic and look for ways to be the first choice for parents. For trusted leadership, committed to every student's success, and with a proven record of dedication and service, vote for Cheryl Harris, Alvin ISD Trustee Candidate for Position 5.